people are so fascinated by the butterfly effect is because it gets at a fundamental question, which is how well can we predict the future?
I must have ate a bowl of butterflies before you came through. Ever since I met you, I've been pressured, I'm a damn fool. Thinking that I got a chance with you. Yeah, maybe I should look both ways before I ever cross that stage. I must have ate a bowl of butterflies before you
Queen, let me turn this song down. I'm vibing.
Yes, what are we listening to in the living room?
We are listening to Bowl of Butterflies by X Brody off of his project Where Love Lies, which you can find on all of the things, all of the stream things.
I'm here for the intro. I love the conversation about, the butterflies and predicting the future. You know what I'm talking about?
That's a vibe. That song is a whole vibe.
Yeah, indeed. We are back, and we are back on time.
We're back and we're better. Oh, want you back
But we
as ever.
will not always be back on time because Aisha don't know how to sit still. So
I'm weak. I'm weakened. Yes, I've got to travel the world. Just kidding. I'm about to make my mini East Coast tour. So I'm going to Georgia to see some family, and then skipping over to North Cackalack to see some family and friends.
And we,
Feel
of course,
free,
excited to have
anyone.
you.
Feel free, anyone, if you see me while I'm in town, to buy me food. Amen.
Always good, yes. So say that to say, y'all, we are gonna have some things for you. But Aisha likes to come and stay for longer than anybody ever anticipates. From the podcast side of our world, and therefore, hopefully we have enough loaded up in the good vault for y'all. But I'm just putting a little heads up out there for y'all because Aisha will be like, "Oh yes, I don't know when I'm leaving," and I'll be like, "Oh." And
I am now a bad bitch who books my flights as one ways, so I don't have the pressure of the illusion of time.
Yes, and because you're on the shade room now,
oh my god,
and stunting on these hoes, and we can't spell Prague.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it.
But yes, I'm excited to see you, Queen, in the flesh and all those good things. But I know you got an icebreaker for us, so let's get into the things.
Yes, Queen. I was thinking about this the other day because I was on the FaceTime with Jaleesa, ECU Princess, my hood rat bitch. And I don't know why, but I was randomly thinking about this weird dude who stayed DMing everyone I know. Like, I know 4 girls at the very least, 4 names off the top of my head, who have told me, like, that this person has DM'd them saying weird stuff, or they put it in their stories. So I saw, like, who the fuck is this dude? And I think it's so funny because it's, like, all people I know. But, so it made me ask the question, what is the weirdest DM you have ever received?
And I thought about this, and I even tried to go back looking, skimming through my DMs. I don't think I've ever gotten a weird DM.
Okay.
Like, I think my DMs are typically pretty poignant. They're pretty, to the point of things, and pretty relevant to my existence, who I actually am. You know what I'm saying? I think I've seen some weird shit.
People respect you, so that's probably it. Because, you are the brains, and I'm nothing but beauty around here. So
yeah, that's what we've been told, y'all. But say that to say, I think I've seen more scandalous things in your DMs than mine.
Correct. Yeah, because, I mean, y'all, if y'all gonna DM me, just know that you are unsafe. You are unsafe here in my DMs, because I'm gonna share it with my friends.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever gotten in your DMs?
Yeah,
I know you've gotten some I know you've gotten some unsolicited genitalia photos.
Peni? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
remember. No, wait. Can we talk about that one time where weren't they on some like "Hello, beautiful African goddess queen," and then bam, penis pic, but no response in between.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, I have quite a few instances of unsolicited penises, but yeah, the one you're talking about, a guy messaged me, "Hello, Nubian queen, grand rising, yada yada yada." And then before I saw or could respond to that message, I got a blurred picture because Instagram wanted to save my eyeballs. And I think I was on the phone with you when it happened, if I'm not mistaken. But I remember saying...
Oh, my bad.
But I
We were
remember
on the
saying,
phone.
like, yeah, I got this weird blurred picture. And Sid was like, unblur it. And I was like, no, I don't want to unblur it. I know
because
him. Unblur it. It might not be a penis. And you can fully see a shaft, like, even in the blurred image.
Yeah, no, I probably was like, well, we're here now, so let's go forward with this.
Yeah.
Onward,
so
troops!
that was great. That was great. I don't know what vibe of my page gave him. Hey, a little bit of Nubian Goddess also would prefer you to send OnlyFans content to her messages. I don't know what his deal was.
Yeah. I think at some point or another, we're probably going to evolve as a society where unsolicited pornographic pictures will get you in some kind of trouble. Not jail time, but like you should have to pay.
You should have to pay. You should have to pay your victim for sure. Matter of fact, if y'all want to send me your dick pics, you should have to like Cash App me. Probably the maximum limit, which I think is $2,500 a day. You should have to Cash App me $2,500 if you want to send your penises unsolicited to my DMs.
Yeah, I was watching Big
that's
Mouth.
Fair.
I was watching Big Mouth, which has a new season out.
Oh, God.
But anyway, I was watching Big Mouth, and the hormone monster on there was like, send her a dick pic unsolicited. They love that. And I was like, whoever writes this show is legit a goddess or a god, because accurate. Like I have yet to meet someone who'd be like, oh, I love getting unsolicited penis pictures. Like, let us ask for them, you know? Like, I don't like penis pictures because I think it's just too much information for my senses. Sensory overload. I'm good with a print pic. We talked about this before. I'm good with a print pic. Penis pictures, especially unsolicited, I'm gonna have to get off all day. I'm not gonna get back on Instagram for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
You ruined it for me.
Then there's another guy. He is always making a new page because I block him every single time. That's the one I was talking about with Jaleesa. And he just pops up at random times sending messages, and like they'll be like, please let me be your sub, talk shit to me, or can I please pay you for pictures of your feet or your butt cheeks or whatever. Like, he just randomly sends messages like saying the weirdest shit, and he'll like literally beg you, please let me send you money, please let me treat me bad. And I'd be like, I'm going to, because I'm blocking you as we speak. But yeah, he's like in everyone's DMs that I know of. And then I just got one maybe 2 weeks ago where a guy, he's like always messaging me, and I'm always like trying to just keep it short and sweet. Like, if he sends me like pretty picture or some shit, I'll be like, thanks. Or I'll just like what he says. I don't like try to have conversation because I think he's a fucking weirdo. But the other day he sends me a message. I don't remember what the first message said, but then when I opened it, I had 3 messages waiting. One was something, and then the second one was like two videos of him rubbing his dick in a shower. And then the third message said, oops, my bad, I didn't mean to send this to you.
Oh, yes, we talked about this.
Yeah, like, Instagram literally has an unsend feature, and I know you know that. So you definitely meant to send it to me. If there were a form of police that didn't just, like, randomly kill black people, I would have certainly called them, because yuck.
Yeah, I would just like to say, that reminds me of that, it was a screenshot of somebody's post that was going around. It was a long time ago now, but back when Instagram was still, like, that blue color, you know what I'm talking about? That,
Throwback.
And this girl, it was like the caption on the girl's picture was, I ain't mean to post this. And somebody had like commented, and I think it was also like within the screenshot, it was like, girl, there's like 8 steps before you can post a picture on Instagram.
Yeah,
what do you mean you didn't mean to post this?
I remember that.
And that's exactly what I thought about when you first told me this story. Like, so you're telling me that you got on Instagram, went to your DMs, typed in your name, because I'm assuming you hopefully wouldn't be the first person at the very top of his DMs. Right. So typed in your name, then not even just hit send, but you went and found the video right in your photos, because you got to go through your photo roll. Right. Then hit send, and then said, I didn't mean to send this. Like, that's just way too, it's not like a butt dial. That's still possible these days.
And if anything, if I accidentally did that, I would 1,000% unsend it. You can see when somebody's read your message or not. I would unsend it and maybe still send a message like, hey, I don't know if you saw that, but I apologize. I accidentally sent you something. So, you know, if you saw it, I'm sorry, but whatever. But, you know, like, he just left the videos there of him playing his dick, and then said, oh, my bad, I didn't mean to send you this. I'm sorry. Boy, I blocked his ass. I'm so sick of y'all. Again.
Yo, that reminds me. Like,
my Cash App is at Aisha Damali. The fee is $2,500 when you guys want to be little fucking pervert deviants. How about that?
Yeah, that reminds me of when Mimi said that they that sex tape got lost in the got stolen on the airport. And then it's like, then I think somebody must have said like, well, it looks produced though. Like the camera is moving and there's angles and I was like, you know what? She got me with that bullshit. Like, I was like, oh my God, that's so sad that somebody would steal and then post. And I was like 2 whole years later, like, wait a minute.
You just gave me like a traumatic flashback of ugly ass Nico's face. That was his name, right? Nico?
Mm-hmm, Nico, yep.
And that strong ass shower rod. Cause bitch, shower rods don't even be strong.
Yeah, that's how you know. That's extra, another reason of how you know that shit was well produced. Like,
I remember when that came out and they were like, oh my God, Lowe's is sold out of curtain rods or shower rods or whatever. Y'all are ghetto.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. So that means we're ready for a month in review?
Yep. Look back at it. Look back at it. Look back at it, girl. Y'all ready?
We got to get a recording of you and a nice little copyright free beat and play that right there.
Okay.
I'm gonna work on that.
That's fine. Yeah, you don't have enough on your plate, Sid. So matter of fact, you should get on that.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Just add more shit on. Okay. All right. So you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I'm gonna go first, probably because I have quite a few. I just have some little mentions, and then I have a bigger story. So my first mention is that Starbucks, formerly racist Starbucks, kicking black people out for being black in their Starbucks, is now giving away free coffee to frontline healthcare workers throughout December. They can all get a free tall coffee. So their statement was that they want to show their deep gratitude for those who support and protect us every day with a small gesture of kindness and a cup of coffee. Those eligible include doctors, nurses, public health care workers, pharmacists, dispatchers, firefighters, paramedics, police officers, dentists, dental hygienists, active duty military, mental health workers, and also including hospital staff, the janitors, housekeeping, security, etc., which made me really, really happy. And to that, I just want to say thank you to Starbucks for making that gesture. And if only we could make kind gestures just, throughout our whole life, every day, all year, without waiting on a holiday or an excuse or a marketing plan to be praised for. But other than that, thank you for the kind gesture to people who have to work every day. And I also just want to add that they are not the only essential and hardworking and 7-day-a-week working type of people. Because if you have to go to a Walmart, which most people do, they're open every single day. They're considered essential. There are lots and lots of people who have to work every day that maybe not in healthcare and keep people safe. Because if you're working in one of those places, you have to clean 24/7 all day also. So yeah. But anyway, shout out to Starbucks for that kind gesture.
Absolutely, that is dope. So we got to shout the people out when they do something right, even when they also do things that are trash later on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I will say, at the very least, it was like, individuals that kicked those black people out. What was that, a year ago at this point? And not the company as a whole. So hopefully they're shutting down of 800 stores last year to give some diversity education. Hopefully that was helpful to their company.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I surely do hope so. Mm-hmm. Okay, we switching? Or you want to do another one?
I'm going to have one more short one. So more short one is that Scotland is making period products free to anyone in need.
Oh, yes, I heard about this.
Mm-hmm. So Scottish lawmakers have okay, whatever.
Unanimously?
Yes.
There you go. It's all good.
Passed legislation that will make period products free to all women. And it was like 121-0 vote to
that's dope.
Support the ruling of the legislation, which is really, really cool. They already have like they have funding for people who in school, so like kids in like public schools or whatever, and in universities to get free feminine products. But now they're making it a law, like basically countrywide. So I think that's really, really cool. And they are the first country in the world to eliminate period poverty once and for all. So I think that's really cool, especially during a global pandemic. I went to pick up some feminine products, I guess last month, and I buy Honey Pot, which is Black owned products, and their tampons, pads, wipes, feminine washes, etc. They are chlorine free. They basically are just really good for you. I have been on my cycle before and been cramping really, really bad. And after I use one of the tampons, like, the cramping goes away 100%. So it just goes to show, like, how important it is to not be putting those toxic chemicals literally inside of your body. So that's really, really cool. So, and my bill was like, I don't know, like $30, $40 to get, my tampons, my pads, my wipes, my liners, etc. So I'm like, imagine $40 is really, it's a lot of money. And especially if you don't have a job right now, if you're struggling and you have to choose between food or feminine products, you're probably going to go cheap on the feminine products. So shout out to Scotland for making that legislation.
Yeah, it's super dope. I mean, I think pads and feminine products, like, I remember reading somewhere or either having someone tell me that basically feminine care products, so, like, I mean, in any kind, like women's products in general, whether it be like deodorant, but you buy women's deodorant, or feminine products, well, not really feminine products because men don't have those, but to say basically if it's marketed towards women, it's just more expensive in general.
Shampoo,
and I'm just like,
conditioner, deodorant,
ghetto. Like, this is the thing. Like, I don't understand. Like, when you look at some of these things that are going on in our society, right? Like, we know women have less power than men. We know they're paid less. And y'all really then decided, oh yeah, and then let's also make your products more expensive on top of you being paid less. Like, it's just like, it has to be on purpose, and therefore I just be so, y'all so annoying. Y'all annoying here in this country. But anyway, shout out to Scotland because that is super dope. I might need to move because it sounds like y'all doing the right thing over there. Okay, it sounds like y'all care about y'all citizens who have vaginas and who were born with them and didn't ask to be born with them. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, citizens with vaginas.
Right. Okay, so my month in review is just we just got this news. It's hot off the presses.
Okay.
Hot from the horse's mouth, if you will. Teyana Taylor is retiring. Okay, so y'all, I caught her live last night, and she talked about how her message on Instagram. So she posted a picture, and she basically was talking about how she's ready to close this chapter of her life. When one door closes, another one opens, and she was surprised by how many streams she got because everybody's been posting their like Spotify numbers and stuff, and people misconstrued her message. So she got on live to talk about how people misconstrued her message, that it was more so her saying not feeling supported by the machine, that being her label, and I guess the people who are on more the production side and more of the entertainment side of things. And she even went into a little bit of detail about not feeling appreciated also by her fans too, which I had questions about because I was like, I don't walk in her shoes, so I don't know exactly what she means by that. But I know she definitely, like I said, while we was on live, was like, and y'all too, y'all don't really be fucking with my music like that. Y'all really don't be fucking with me like that. Yikes. And I was like, see, I wonder what she means, because it's like, I'm wondering, like, do you want Beyonce level support where you can literally post a picture of the concrete outside and I got to see it 50 million times in everybody's story? Or do you mean like your streams not where you want them to be? Like, I really wish she would have went into detail about what she meant, because it left me a little confused. Because I'm like, besides people listening to your music or possibly paying for it, I think that's really all that we should ask for, right? The rest of that's you asking people basically to market for you for free. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, which they do anyway. So like, I get, on the other side of that being like, well, y'all gonna do that shit anyway, so why not do it for me? But also at the same time, I just be like, I mean, people are giving you their time, their money when they come see you perform. And I saw people in the comments when she started talking about those different things, just talking about how amazing she is live. I had personally wanted to see her live too, and now that she's retiring, wow, that just set in, that just hit me right now. I'm never gonna be able to see her live. Wow, and that makes me sad. Damn, I should have went to that Petunia ball. Anyway,
well, to be fair, I don't think she's retiring as a whole. I think she's basically trying to give her label, to give Def Jam like an ultimatum of sorts.
I hope so.
In her further explanation, because I saw she posted something else basically saying, hey guys, this was basically directed at my label. Why continue to do things that aren't being supported or marketed or whatever. because she was saying, I can choreograph, I can direct, I can do this, I can do that. I have other avenues of creativity, so I don't need to do music. I don't have to if it's not going to be appreciated. So that to me, because she also said, like, I've asked them on 10 occasions to please just drop me, like, let me go. Yep. And I think she's basically just trying to get dropped so that she can go put out music elsewhere or independently, somewhere where she can get more support. So I don't think that she's done as a whole, but I'm sure she'll be done until they drop her. And I don't know how long her contract is, because she said she was with them for 10 years already, which is crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing that I wanted to bring up too with that whole thing, like, I was thinking to myself when she said that, I was like, yo, if Def Jam really gives a fuck about people at all, people over profit, they'll just drop her. Because if you hear artists get on live and say, I'm retiring because I don't want to be with y'all, okay, then let's push past the fact that, if an artist just asks you in general to drop them, if you care about people over profit, you would just do it, because clearly this person is unhappy, right? But again, everything is about money, which is why it's like, no, we're going to keep you signed to us or whatever. But to say to me, to see how disappointed her fans are, like someone like me or someone like Kalia was hurt. She was more hurt than I was, because I was like, oh, I'm fine. And then literally as soon as Teyana Taylor got off live, I went and listened to Bear With Me and then listened to Morning and watched the music video. And then I was like, okay, now I'm sad because I forgot. I'm one of them fans she was talking about. They don't really be fucking with her music. She was talking to me. But anyway, say that to say, I think Def Jam should just release her. Like, I just don't understand why everything just has to be money, power all the time. This artist is unhappy. Her fans are now going to be unhappy because they're going to be without music until y'all drop her. So I feel like if they care at all about people, they would simply just drop her. And I will say, because I did see people, some people in the live, saying like, oh, because she came to say, let me explain my post, and I saw people saying like, oh yeah, because it was a little dramatic, or it was this and the third, or you're quitting and this and the third. But let's be very clear. I feel like if you pay her any attention, you would absolutely have to agree that she doesn't get the support that she is deserved as an artist, right? Like, you had 7 come out, which I feel like, I was telling my friend, I was like, I feel like I became a fan at 7, so I can't really remember necessarily how much marketing there was for that, but I can't necessarily say I remember seeing a lot or hearing a lot of buzz about it. But I know for a fact that it was like 4 years, I think, before she put out KTSE, and when it finally did come out, there was no marketing. When it finally did come out, it was only like 7 songs. When it finally did come out, all of the songs production wise sounded the exact same. I was like, did Kanye even try, or did he go in there and say, all right, flip this a little bit, tweak that a little bit, okay, put that out, and then tweak it again for the second track, okay, and tweak it just a little bit for the third? Because I was like, my nigga, how long did you work on this album? 10 minutes? Like, I don't understand. And then also she was talking about how, for instance, the song about her daughter, I forgot which one it is on KTSC, but how it was actually a longer version of it, and they didn't put that out. And she did a lot of interviews talking about her grievances about how that album wasn't what it was. I guess before it was released, it was something different than what they actually put out. And then even from a popularity standpoint, going back to her saying like, I didn't feel appreciated, be it from the fans, be it from, the people or whatever. I legit remember her going on Wendy Williams after the Fade video came out, and they were referring to her, be it Wendy, and I'm pretty sure it was Wendy, but she was like, oh, the girl, she basically was referring to her as the girl from the Fade video. And I was like, I'm sorry, she got a whole album out. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. And had been out for a little while. It wasn't like it just came out yesterday and then the Fade video dropped. It was like, no, girl. And it's not, on top of that, the album was good. Like, it wasn't like it was some trash ass album and she's a better dancer. Like, no, it was like, I fucked with this album. So this is a musical artist that you're interviewing right now, not some dancer that was just in a Kanye video. So I absolutely get it. And she talked about how, and to me, I just feel like if again, going back to caring about people, whether you've been in the game for, I think the 7 album came out in 2014, so I think maybe 6 years now. And of course, she's been in the game longer than that, because she was talking about how she's been out since she was basically 14 or something or 12, something crazy. But to have been out that long and to feel like you're unhappy, to feel like this is killing you, to say literally the only part of music making you enjoy is basically writing and being in the booth, or definitely being in the booth and something else she said, probably like, directing and that kind of thing and doing her music videos and stuff. But yeah, like, it's not worth it. And she's not the only one. Summer Walker talk about the same shit? Like, how she basically hates the industry side of things?
Yeah, but I don't know if that's, like, for the same reasons, because I think that Summer Walker does get a lot of push. She's also in the headlines a lot, so that might help. But
I more so meant that as, like, basically more so, like, despite what the actual grievance might be, she's not the only artist that I've heard say that industry-wise they don't like it.
Oh, yeah. Summer has definitely said that she was going to quit and retire probably 4 times now. She definitely said she was never going to do another tour again. But she flip-flops a lot, so who the fuck knows?
Yeah, I just think it's very sad. Like in my head, when I hear that kind of stuff, when I hear it from multiple people, which of course that's only two, but I'm sure they aren't the only ones. It's just the only ones I've heard about or they have been talked about now that I'm paying attention. Then something needs to be done on the industry part. Like it's not just the, oh, Teyana Taylor's quote unquote hard to work with, because here y'all come with that bullshit. I already know. It's like, oh, she asked for too much. And she was even talking about how they don't give her money for her music videos and stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, no, I could completely understand, because it's one thing when you ain't got no money because you're unknown and you're out here trying to just make things happen, but to be a known artist, to have millions of followers on Instagram and you still can't get money to put a music video together when you have the creativity, like it's like, what did I work this hard for to get to this level for if I'm not gonna see any benefit of it? You know what I'm saying? So I say all that to say, as someone who considers themselves to loosely be a Teyana Taylor fan, in case she hears this and heard me say that I be slacking.
And her tours.
Right. I say, girl, do what makes you happy, because it's not worth it, especially because she has so much, like you said earlier, it's just so much more to offer. So
yeah,
we love you, Teyana.
And she definitely said, I have to do this for my mental health. I have to be alive for my children, which that part really struck me. Like, y'all are saying, what about the fans and what about us?
Yeah.
But we like your music. Like, there isn't thousands and thousands of other artists that you could listen to that may have the same vibe or give you the same energy. And so it's very selfish. It's the same thing when Beyonce just said she wants to retire and people are like, bitch, what? It's like, girl, what else could Beyonce possibly give us? Like, she has given us everything. And I'm sure if she chooses to give us more, it'll be even better than the last thing she gave us, because that is how my queen does. But when she says she wants to retire, enjoy the fruits of her labor, and I understand that her her reasoning is different than Teyana's, but just when people say they want to be done with something or move on from something else, like if somebody said they want to retire from McDonald's, you're not going to give them shit. So just please leave people alone, let them be great, let them take care of their mental health and relax and whatever they need to do to be happy in this life, because that's all we have is this one life, and I would rather anybody, whether they have children or not, be happy for that life that they get to live.
Absolutely, because the thing about it is, the same way I told myself last night, I guess I'm just gonna be listening to these same 3 albums on repeat for the rest of my life. And secondly, lost my train of thought.
But you can listen to other artists if you wanted to, or just whatever. And I think it's very sad. Like you said, it really just goes back to being selfish, because like you said, even if the girl said, these motherfuckers get on my nerves, I don't want to do it no more, that's her business. And I know what I was gonna say. If I can give you any advice, that's why you really have to live in the moment. Like, if the pandemic taught us anything, right, like all those times we said we didn't want to go to this party, or all them times I put off going to this concert, just things that will now give me a little anxiety if I thought about doing them when the world opens back up again. You got to live in the moment. Because I had a friend tell me when I was at work, this is back when I worked at PacSun, when I was still at ECU, he was saying that he kept putting off going to see this band he really wanted to see, and it was a famous band. But he was saying, and then by the time he finally got tickets to go, like the lead singer ended up dying or something like that. And he was saying, like, you really can't wait, because he was saying that what we got to remember is these people are people. So it's the same way with, Beyonce is retiring. Oh my God, how dare you? It's like, no, girl, it's your fault, because you probably should have went to one of them concerts when you had a chance, because I know you probably, like the rest of us, put it off because you thought Beyonce was just going to be out here making music till she was 50. Same thing with Teyana. You know what? If you don't have your safety stash for Beyonce things, then it just is what it is, girl. She has taught you time and time again. She does not market. She does not care about your feelings or your bank accounts. She will go on tour tomorrow, and that is the heads up you get, and then drop the album tonight. So you better learn those songs in the choreo, bitches, because the queen be coming. But yeah, with that being said, just like you kind of said, just take advantage of life as we have it now and be in the moment.
Absolutely.
So good luck, Teyana.
Yes, we love you, and just know, when and if you ever have a concert, I will be there front row, because I missed the Petunia Ball and now I'm sad as fuck. I just didn't come because I didn't think I was gonna be able to see, because I'm short. It was all standing room only. So yeah, love you, girl. You will be missed.
All right, last look back at it that I wanted to talk about, and it's a doozy, bitches. Are y'all ready? So Vogue magazine has released a cover and spread, I should call it, of Harry Styles. And in his spread, he is wearing a series of dresses, fluffy skirts, feminine blouses, jewelry, etc. Candace Owens had something to say, y'all. She first started with, "There is no society that can survive without strong men. The East knows this. In the West, the steady feminization of our men at the same time that Marxism is being taught to our children is not a coincidence. It's an outright attack. Bring back manly men. End quote. Then the good sis takes to the Instagram and says, women who objectify themselves by spreading their legs for the world are lauded as courageous. Men in ball gowns and little girls' clothing, is what she was trying to put, are lauded as icons. Hollywood is no longer about diversity. It's about perversity. I speak for people who do not worship perversity. And she captioned that with, sorry, I'm still not sorry. Hashtag bring back manly men. So here we go.
You know how I feel about this. I'm gonna let you take it, Queen. I'm gonna sit here and listen. Probably take some notes because I'm probably gonna have a lot to say.
Oh yes, feel free to interject whenever, because I don't necessarily have to spiel it, because I think our listeners probably know what it is. They know what's up. But I just wanted to say to Candace, like, girl, dear sweet baby, you are married to your Caucasian Nubian king. Why the fuck do you care about what Harry Styles is wearing to cover his balls? I question. Also, he's wearing clothing for a magazine. Not that it matters, but I've never seen him wear them as his regular street clothes. But it's clothing for a magazine. And this has upset you so greatly that you think this is an attack and a perversion created by Hollywood because he's wearing a blouse? Girl, like, how are you so upset? Exactly in the exact moment that they finally decide to deactivate Donnie's Instagram and Twitter, I hope that they do yours as well. I'm just so sick of her opinions on dumb shit that just don't matter, girl. Like, manly men, is he gonna be more or less manly? Is he gonna be, and specifically when she said strong men, like, he would have to be less strong because he's wearing a skirt in a magazine, in a photo. Yeah. She strikes me as one of those, like, remember when pink was like a really big thing, like wearing the color pink, that pale pink, and boys used to wear those shirts that say like real men wear pink or something like that. And I think it started around October for breast cancer awareness, but then people just kind of started wearing them anywhere. And so boys, you know, in your schools or wherever started wearing like pink polo shirts or pink t-shirts or whatever. And I don't think it was, you know, some big statement that they were trying to make, but I think they just thought it was cool and trendy to wear pink when you're a boy kind of thing. I fully think she was sitting at her desk, pounding her fist, and probably scraping something into the desk with a Sharpie or like a sharp pencil, like, they're wearing pastel pink. I cannot.
Yeah.
Like, Candace, girl, Candy, come on. Get it together.
I have a lot of different things to say. Number one, yes, I do not understand. Well, let me start with this. So y'all know I'm reading that book about sex, and it talks about, I think, just gender norms and how that relates to, you know, sexual activity, right? And in that book, they kind of mention this idea that we create all this rigidity in our lives that is very against human nature, right? Like these very, very strong, very rigid boxes for what masculinity is, and if you don't fit this box, then you're ostracized, with these very strong and rigid boxes for what femininity is, and being ostracized as a result. And then what that means about your sexuality, even though from all the things I've read in school, as far as quote unquote being educated and being higher educated, if that makes sense, they say that your gender performance doesn't have anything to do with your sexuality, and gender is fluid, much like sexuality is fluid, which is, you know, the things that we learn in school. And so when I hear people say that stuff, I'm just like, I don't understand. And I absolutely get there are women out there that be like, you know, I don't want to date no man that's gonna wear no dress. I don't want to date no man that's gonna wear no skirt. People will be, you know, thrown off when I say Jaden Smith is bae. I get it, because he's worn skirts before and things like that. And that's fine if that's just not your thing. Absolutely. But why, you know, again, we talked about this before, coming back to this chauvinism, like why there has to be a right and a wrong in something like this. Why it has to be just because you don't like it. Now I got to go on a rant. Now I got to say, bring real men back. And because then my question always becomes like, what exactly is the fear? Like, what is it predicated on? Because I would assume it's this idea that you think that no woman would want a man in a dress simply because you don't, and that's a projection. It's not really reality, right? There are women who date men who wear dresses. There are women who date men who wear skirts. There are women who date men who wear makeup, and like Luca has had on makeup for covers before. You know what I'm saying? Is he any less manly? Is he any less fine? Because then my next question always becomes, well, what is the definition of strong to you? What is the definition of a man to you? So speaking and going back to your first question about weird DMs, I was, I'm out here on these dating apps, and in my pictures on that dating app, I have my pictures from New York up there. So I'm wearing that shirt that says "Let boys be feminine," and so this guy had like messaged me, and he's like, "Oh, you have a beautiful smile, but I don't agree with your shirt." No, I was like, "Oh, okay," but I like to engage in conversations. So I was like, "Oh, what you mean?" He's like, "I just think men should be men," and I'm just like Candace Owens. I'm like, what does that mean? And I feel like for me, at least, whenever I ask somebody to expound on that, they never really can give me an answer, because I feel like normally we just be talking off of emotion. You just see something and you have this visceral reaction to it, but you don't really have no data to back up. Kind of like when people were like, bruh, don't let your son cut his dick off, bruh. He gonna change his mind, bruh. And then you look up the statistics of how many trans children change their mind, and it's like very low. And also you look up the fact that trans children don't actually transition anyway, so there was no possibility of her cutting her dick off. So you're like, what do y'all be talking about? So yeah, just people be responding from a straight up emotion, and I just be wanting to ask people, like, what exactly is the fear? Like, and we talked about this before. Like, I wish I could just ask Candace Owens, like, what exactly is it that you're afraid of? Because I'm assuming it will be this, that we can't procreate. We're going to go extinct because men put on dresses and no women want to sleep with them. And I'm like, again, that's a projection, because that's not true for all women.
Correct.
So
yeah,
yeah,
you're still gonna get bitches. But
I'm
it's
sure.
just like, for one, sis, global pandemic, devastating lives and the economy. Police brutality, violence against Black people, extreme, inflamed, and outright and overt racism wreaking havoc on the United States per usual. A president who refuses to concede. Mm-hmm. And you want to talk about a man in a skirt. Somehow a man in a skirt is just angering you. Whole time, your full and public support goes to an orange bitch who gets spray tanned and wears wigs, and you're mad at a skirt. You don't ever be like, Donnie, with the spray tanning shit, it's not manly enough for me, and I can no longer support you because I need a manly man to run the country. Bitch, he has a wig.
Yeah,
he has a weave, girl, and you're mad at Harry Styles. Get your priorities together. What a stupid bitch. Anytime she says anything, that's all I can think. Just stupid bitch. And I would love to have a conversation and possibly educate somebody, but when so many people are committed to their ignorance and committed to their own internalized racism, I can't help you, girl. I can only help somebody who wants help, and you don't want it. So again, continue to support your weave-wearing, spray-tan-having ass orange bitch Cheeto, and just leave everybody else alone, because girl, we don't care. Also, you're already quote-unquote happily wed, so why don't you just mind your goddamn business and tend to your husband and leave us all out of your ignorance? How about that? Yeah,
I just simply wanted to say the line in the sand is always just so arbitrary, right? Like, because then when you go back to things like that, like, it's like, yeah, well, like you just said, he's wearing a weave, but that's not, he's still manly though, but this
he's
dress
still manly
is
with
just
a blonde weave and blonde extensions, but Harry Styles in the skirt gotta fucking go. It's an outright attack on our men. First of all,
yeah, and I think it's,
men. Who are you even talking about? Because my men are doing fine.
Right. And then the thing about it, to me, again, I think going back to the whole being educated thing, going back to just having just different things, whether it be books you've read or going to school or no matter when or where you learned it, but just being exposed to new and different things, like looking at how when you look at fashion through history, like you think about togas, those were dresses, but nobody's looking at the Grecians like, oh my God, these unmanly men, you know what I'm saying? And
Correct.
And you can't be, because you're literally saying that we're losing our men now. But it's like, well, when you look back at history, same thing with like when you look, even when you just, not even being in a fashion history class, but when you look at the things that men wore in the 70s, I'm talking about sheer this and
satin this and floral that and
and so I just, when people like, go on these rants about how, they're trying to demasculate Black men, or they're just trying to demasculate men in general and feminize men, this, that, and the third, I just be like, again, when you look at history, be it whether you go all the way back to Mesopotamia where men were wearing skirts, or you go back to the 1800s or whatever, when they were wearing those high heel things that clicked against their feet and stuff. And I just be like,
whole
what are
life
y'all talking
gladiators about? in skirts, like, and mini skirts at that. Like,
exactly.
girl,
so I just be
manly,
like,
would you like to go tell some like Scottish people in their kilts that they're just not manly enough because culture and fashion. Girl, shut the hell. Please,
the line
God,
in the sand.
please,
That's why I always be like this. I'm glad, and I really hope that I'm not being loud and dumb about something, because when I hear stuff like this, I'll be like, I'm glad I'm not just loud and dumb about this particular subject, because girl, what is you talking about?
All right, because girl, just crack open a history book. You,
please, because fashion history is actually very fun if anybody wants to learn it. But anywho,
yeah, it's quite interesting. I mean, men wearing heels. Hello. But anyway, but to piggyback off of that, one last look back at it for me. Noah Cyrus is now, quote, mortified and apologizing for using racist language in a post defending Harry Styles. So after Candace, took to the Twittersphere to annoy us all, Noah, which is Miley Cyrus's younger sister, took to Twitter to quote, or to post a picture of Harry Styles from one of the spreads and say, let me quote exactly. He wears this dress better than any of you nappy ass hoes.
Uh-oh.
Correct. Uh-oh is right. So then she makes a post saying, I am mortified that I used a term without knowing the context and history, but I know now, and I am horrified and truly sorry. I'll never use it again. Thank you for educating me. I in no way meant to offend anyone. I am so sorry.
But you know what's so funny? And we talked about this before, like with the N-word, right? Like, she really may not have known, but it's just be like, I think we're all in our weakest and in our lowest of moments going to reach for whatever we have, right? Reach for whatever it is we can throw back at you. Whether it be, oh, I'm skinny and you're fat, so I'm gonna call you fat because I know that's not the it thing in America. Oh, I'm white and you're black, so I'm gonna call you a nigger because I know that's not the it thing in America. I have straight hair that I know is acceptable Eurocentrically, so I'm gonna call you nappy headed hoes. So yeah, but wow, I bet that to me, and it's probably the way you read it, but in my head, I felt like the backlash rained down from the heavens immediately.
Immediately.
Oh my goodness.
And so, of course, Candace takes to, oh my God, you would stoop to racism because I believe in manly men. Oh, girl.
But also in Candace's defense, just like when I laughed when Donald Trump said, when he said, well, what about the crime bill? Like, you know what I mean? Like, girl, use what you can when you got it. She said, racism. Like, yeah, I feel that. I
couldn't fucking wait to call someone racist. So opposite of all of her conservative Republican comrades. Oh, girl.
What a mess. Woo, child. No, I'm always here for the I didn't know, but I know now.
Thank you for educating me. Not nappy ass hoes.
Yeah.
Honestly,
and then mind you,
Candace deserved a good dragon. However, the little white girl was probably not the one to do the things.
Yeah, that nappy. This is the thing. There are just some things that no matter what, they're just off limits and she might not even be racist, quote unquote, right? But girl, because of your ancestry, no, there's just certain words. You can't use monkeys. You can't use nappy. You can't use blackie. You can't use tar baby. You can't use bedwench. You can't use, like, there's just lots of words.
Sorry, guys. Nigger. All of your fave words are out the window.
Yeah, sorry. Because, again, like, that's the thing about racism, right? You never know when somebody is just being racist or when they really don't know better. But, unfortunately, you got to be dragged because your ancestors weren't dragged. So, I'm going to sit here with my arms folded and my Contigo bottles, drinking my water, watch you get dragged on Twitter.
Correct. Because hand me the popcorn. Man. All right, so I'm done with Look Back at It. What about you, Queen?
I have one more, and it is for Summer Walker.
Okay, here we go. Let me put my seatbelt on, girl.
Summer Walker said in her story, which was later,
already, you can end the story there.
She said, Black men got to start doing better when it comes to being a father. My grandfather lame, my father lame, and this nigga lame. LOL. Not the LOL. And I guess, I hate when people put LOL when they dead serious. Don't try to soften this cushion, girl.
Correct.
Y'all go straight for the neck with the spikes. And I guess the cycle will continue. I guess niggas still dealing with the shackles of mental slavery or some shit back when white men ripped off Damn, I'm sorry, y'all. I cannot read at the same time that I'm trying to tell a story. Ripped you from your families and beat you to death if you tried to protect them. It goes deep. Shit's really sad. I'm trying to figure out if I really want it. Yeah. Everyone ghetto. It was all so ghetto. I tried to get him to spend time with his other kids as much as I could. He ain't want to because he's selfish. I tried to get his baby mamas to let him see the kids. They didn't want to because they was bitter and hated me for no reason. Not no reason. I tried to get everybody to just get the fuck along like one big happy family, and instead everyone just shit on me. And now I just have the shit end of the stick because all these motherfuckers is ghetto. Ghetto is in capital letters. Ghetto. But that's how it goes when everybody's spiritually and mentally undeveloped. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Okay, let's put an emphasis on that. Let's put a pin in that. I'm gonna come back to that in a minute. Well, I guess I'll just put it all in an album, collect my millions, and be on my merry way. So this is the thing, and now I only heard this through the streets. I wouldn't know personally, and you can attest to this. I know it from the read. I heard everybody tried to warn Summer Walker that nigga wasn't shit, and clearly, based off of her own details, she knew that nigga wasn't shit. So as we talked about the other day, I would just want to know, with all the birth control in the world, with all the contraceptive methods in the world, between condoms, actual birth control, right? You know, the pill, the implant, the IUD, the whatever. You let capital L-E-T this nigga get you pregnant, even though you saw he didn't want nothing to do with his kids. You saw his baby mamas was miserable, which, mind you do just got some bitter, quote unquote, bitter ass women that just want to see the world burn and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, in my head, I wonder how many women are actually like that and how many of them aren't bitter because somebody made them bitter, i.e. they trash ass baby daddies. Kind of like when they be like, black women, y'all so angry. Y'all niggas made us angry. You think we came into the world?
Correct.
We came into the world crying after y'all slapped us on the ass. We weren't angry at the time until y'all made us angry.
And
so
y'all continue to metaphorically smack us in the ass every fucking day. We're tired, damn it.
Absolutely. So say that to say with Summer Walker, I'm like, so you didn't just want to assume maybe they were upset because they baby daddy don't want to be around their kids. He probably, who knows what he's doing child support wise. Unfortunately, at this point, I just assume the worst when it comes to these niggas, because that's what y'all have shown me. Y'all have been the futures of the world, where y'all literally tell the judge you don't know if you rent or own your place.
Just so you don't
say that to say, right. So say that to say, girl, now you talking about you got the shit end of the stick. Okay, now listen. Sometimes our choices are absolutely taken from us by people lying, by them withholding information, by them abusing us. But sometimes in life, we also get to see clear with our eyes, right? And you saw clearly with your eyes that his baby mamas was miserable. He wasn't around his children. You couldn't beg that nigga or pay that nigga to spend no time with his kids. And you let that nigga put a baby in you? And now you want to get on the internet, talk about your daddy lane, your granddaddy lane, which I don't doubt.
First of all, we don't even know them niggas. Could you just not, girl?
But also, this is the thing. I actually don't doubt it because, like I said, unfortunately, when I assume, but I'm going to assume who either or is going to be the better of the two. I'm going to assume the woman is going to be the better of the two. So say that to say, and again, y'all made me this way. I didn't come into the world as a baby angry thinking this shit. But say that to say, girl, don't get on the internet and cry now. Like, I just can't, especially because the world, on top of you having the actual vision of seeing it, but everybody didn't try to tell you. Child, I tell you what, no ma'am, I would have been using all the condoms. Actually, no, I wouldn't even it's kind of like when I think about Future, I'd be like, this nigga shouldn't even be able to buy pussy at this point, because the thought of you not being around your kids, the thought of you treating these women like this, the thought of you lying to the court talking about you don't know whether you own or rent your place because you're not trying to pay child support would totally recoil whatever sexual stimulation I had going on at the thought of
Try
you.
me right on out, child.
You know what I'm saying? So said it to say, this man who don't want to spend no time, if you had a man in your life who don't want to spend no time with his kids or treats the other women in his life like trash, his previous love interests, right? He didn't, unless he just be getting all these women pregnant from one night stands, all these women have eventually been his girlfriends, right? Then why are you I don't even know how y'all be having sex with these men. I don't know. I don't get it. But girl, I actually, in the spirit of love and light, I wish you the best with your tumultuous situation.
Yeah, you can lead a horse to water. And that's all I can say about that. It's just, first of all, she's done this about 16 times in their relationship. Their very young relationship. How long they been dating? A year? Maybe two? Two at the very, very most, probably, at this point. They have not been dating that long, and we've already heard y'all break up 16 times, and not because of him. Like, every single time there's an issue, you want to cuss him out or, I guess, expose him to the World Wide Web and have your summer walkies all up in his mentions. When really it could just simply not be our business. Like, we could simply all not have to know when y'all have an argument about who the fuck left the toilet seat up. Like, it's just so tired. I honestly, not to, give the most credit in the world to London, but it's just like, I don't know, y'all all stupid to me, because why do you keep taking her back when she continues to expose you on the internet? Summer, why do you keep taking him back when you can't force him to be around his children? Which is why I say, and not that it's the end all be all and everyone is this way, but it's why I say I just couldn't see myself as a woman who dated a man with children, because it's like, well, as the person that I am, I'm very protective of children, and for me that would mean if you were spending time with me, you weren't spending time with your kids, which is more valuable. So I just wouldn't want to be the person taking a man away from his kids if he wanted to be there or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't tell me you are begging this man to spend time with his kids, and yet you just let him lay up under you all the time instead of going to see his kids. You're not begging very hard, girl. I don't know. Yeah. And not that she should have to. You shouldn't have to. But also, you procreated with this man and were gloating on the internet a simple, 7 days ago, and now he's a lame along with your granddaddy. Girl, we don't care. It's not our business. We don't care.
Yeah, I don't. Speaking of which, I remember when we had our conversation, it wasn't to say that you were saying you were thinking about canceling Summer Walker or anything like that, but I just remember you saying, like, dang, it's unfortunate because y'all you disagree on some things, and you find out some things you dislike about the our artists, our favorite artists, or artists in general. And I was just thinking to myself, like, our parents didn't have to know all this bullshit about their favorite artists, right? Like, social media. Correct. Social media, like, everything has its ups, its downs, its pros, its cons. But one of the things I think about, and who I thought about specifically when I was taking my notes for this story, was like Keke Palmer, right? Like, when she made her comment last week or the week before last about the whole EBT thing, and I was just like, and not to say I would cancel her over that. Like, me and you had a conversation about this. Like, and I didn't think it was cancelable for me, but say that to say, like, I just missed the days where you didn't have to know none of that. Like, I distinctly remember some more making a joke on one of her stand-ups where she said that we didn't know Ike was beating Tina ass till the movie came out. And don't get me wrong, that's a different situation. I wouldn't want to make a woman beat a rich, but say that to say they just got to enjoy their artists. They didn't have to know none of that sad shit they was doing. They didn't have to know what their opinions were on things. It was just here's this album.
And I fully feel like if we took a stroll 20, 30 years back, that someone would probably call People Magazine and say, hey guys, I got your scoop on this nigga London. Because why else are you exposing this shit to the public? We don't care. You're probably going to take him back like you have every other time. And even if you're not, it's not our business. And most of us, I'm not going to even say most, but a lot of people, if it's your goal to deter people from supporting him, for one, as I said on the read, that ain't going to do shit. Niggas are not going to care about him taking care of or not taking care of his children. That's just the society that we live in. They're not going to cancel him for being a shitty boyfriend to you. But even more than that, it's like, if you're doing this to deter anybody from liking him or possibly dating him in the future, or having children with him, they may or may not have their own brains to see that when he doesn't take care of these children, or when he slams this baby mama or that one or this ex or that one, that maybe they just don't want to procreate with him or date him in the first place. So they'll be okay. We don't need your 2 cents about this nigga who we don't fucking know.
Yeah, I miss the days when I didn't have to know my celebrities. I honestly, and having this conversation with you now, I'm thinking to myself who I want to unfollow when we finish this episode. Because I really don't follow a lot of celebrities. Like, I know I follow like Taraji and Teyana, but now I'm just, and fortunately enough, so far, neither one of them have been problematic. But to say again, I think again, the more opportunities you give people to speak, because we all are going to do and say problematic things, right? I think it just wasn't on display like it is now, because we're so involved in people's lives, especially during this pandemic, where all we really have to look forward to is celebrity business, because none of us basically got any business left because we're stuck in the house. But yeah, a mess. But like I said, and seriously, I do, we're all going to grow and evolve. And unfortunately, sometimes some of us got to get burned by fire before we learn a lesson. And it sounds like with that whole, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, this girl just done got burnt by fire. Because the other thing I was thinking about is, Rodney, y'all, Rodney the Voice on YouTube, who is one of my favorite YouTubers, was talking about how do y'all feel when y'all babies come out looking like y'all trifling ass baby daddies. And I was like, yo, right, for real though. Like, I just would not want to be tied to some of these trifling niggas that these girls be dating for the rest of my life. So I say that to say, I just wish her all the wholeness in the world, because I have seen some very toxic, broken family units, and it just don't look like fun. And yes, sometimes, like I was saying earlier, we do make choices that put us in these situations, but I just hope that it's not really as horrible as I know it can be for her going down the line, because she's still so young, and we all do dumb shit when we young. She's in her early 20s, right?
Yeah, I think 22.
Yeah, and say that to say, I don't think I would have made that decision, because you know my upbringing was don't trust these niggas, don't let these niggas get you pregnant. So that's literally always how I've thought, and I mean that not on some hindsight bias. Like, no, my mama told me that since I feel like I came out the womb. She's been whispering it to me in my ear since I was an infant, while I was sleeping. But say that to say,
Mary had a little lame. Don't trust these niggas.
Yep, exactly. But yeah, so I wish her the absolute best, because wow, you know, we all got to get burned by fire every once in a while.
Yeah, same. I feel the exact same. I wish her the best. I wish her a healthy pregnancy. I wish her a healthy relationship, and her child a healthy relationship with London.
I feel like I just pulled
I wish all of his children wholeness. I wish for everyone to get along and be able to have relationships and form their own opinions about their daddy or their mama or their this or that. As we have said, even at the very beginning, I want to say at the very first episode, we, Sid the Great, and Aisha Damali, will make our own mistakes and probably fuck up and say the wrong thing or be unintentionally rude or disrespectful or this or that at some point, and probably at several points. And just like we want the space and the grace to grow, you know, we also want to grant that vulnerability to others also. So yeah, have a great pregnancy, girl. I hope that you are already blending your fruits and veggies that for 83 cents a day, and that you will have a healthy, happy pregnancy, girl. And please also seek counseling, because again, if you mentioned your grandfather and your daddy, niggas we don't even fucking know on the whole World Wide Web, then it probably goes much deeper than, you know, London on the track, if you will. So please just get some therapy, girl, and get yourself whole. Shit.
I feel like I just pulled not to be shady, but I'm gonna read you down for filth and then be like, but I wish you the best.
And you know what? And I feel like that's fine, because if you want people to grow, you got to be able to call them out in love, and then be like, hope you grow, sis. Bye. Whatever. Anywho,
indeed.
Do you have anything else, Queen?
No, man. We can move on to Blank While Black.
Blank While Black. What can we just not do while being black? Well, according to Burt Bees Babies, we cannot just be a black family while black. So, Burt Bees Baby has just come under fire for an offensive holiday ad of a black family with no father. So, a Twitter user, I'm not really sure what inspired this. Maybe they were just shopping and happened to notice it and didn't like it. But saw on the website for the Burt Bees Babies, they had like family pajamas for the holidays, you know, striped, candy cane, etc. There is a white family with 2 children. There's another Tad and Karen and Toby and Jackson with their dog Spot. There is an cultural family with a Jason, maybe a Ming, and 2 little ones. And then they got Keisha over here with you know, 2 little babies and no pappy. So the Twitter user decided to put these 4 pictures together in a grid-like style, and so showed all of the 3 white families with their children and even a dog in one, but then pictured the black family with just the 2 kids and the mom. So Burt's Bees is apologizing, saying, on behalf of Burt's Bees Baby, in response to an image of a family shown on our website, we are deeply sorry for the hurt this image has caused. We recognize the importance of portraying families in a way that doesn't promote harmful stereotypes. Our choice to use this photo when part of the family was not available for a rescheduled photo shoot was wrong, and we have removed the image from our website. These 4 images were not a part of an ad and not collectively compiled by our company, but pasted together by a Twitter user using different images of actual families we have on our website, which includes other representations of real Black families. Even so, we have learned a lot about the impact and intent, blah, blah, blah. Sorry. So I didn't want to give a deep dragon, but maybe just a light dragon.
Okay.
Because again, it wasn't a part of a rollout, and supposedly, I went on their website and I didn't see any really, but supposedly there were other quote unquote whole families. And it's not to say that they can't have representation of families who don't have a mother, a father, and 2 kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to have a single parent featured in an ad, a single parent family featured in an ad. But when the only one is of a Black family, it makes you say, looks a little bit harmful. Why don't you have single white mommies? Because my mom was one, a single white lady with kids. So the only family you want to do was a Black family. And they even said in their apology that the whole family wasn't available for the shoot, so they rescheduled, but yet you still use the one that the whole family wasn't there. That doesn't even make any sense, girl. That was stupid. Yeah. So yeah, in Blank While Black, try not to be a Black family posing for a holiday ad in which you were obviously paid to do, just while being Black.
Yeah, I saw this, and it was like you said, I think definitely worthy of a light dragging, because this is the thing. That is so unfortunate, because at the same time, and it, there are people of all races, people who are do have single mothers or do have single fathers. So maybe because of racism, it goes back to the same thing we just talked about with the tweet about the nappy-headed hoes. You really might not have meant no harm, but because of the historical context, because of the contemporary context, right? The stereotypes for Black families. Actually, what is, in the words of Candace Owens, half of Black children, well, that's not her words, but I know she's on the whole single motherhood train of the Black families. 50% of Black children are being raised in single mother households, according to the statistics I read. But say that to say, because of stereotypes, because y'all always be trying to pathologize everything in our community, we don't need this kind of representation. If you want to make it the family single, either put the daddy in the picture or do it with another race of people who may be Asians, because, model minority, which is not necessarily a good thing, but to say, they don't have that stereotype for that group of people. So, yeah, just because y'all are shitty, we have to have these conversations, and you got to get a light dragon. So, I absolutely get it. What a shame.
Yeah, and I felt like they really apologized, and they were like, but also a Twitter user did this. It's like, girl, just take the responsibility and do it, because that's not what's important. What's important is your impact. It's like your intent, cool, intent is important. However, impact is, how you made people feel, regardless of your intent. So with that being said, just take responsibility and keep it pushing. Next.
Absolutely. Next, we gotta
say what now?
What now?
Queen, do we have the same one?
For say what now? Is it Mulatto? Oh yes, I actually I thought you were gonna put that in month in review, so I'm excited to talk about it. But so you go ahead, because I didn't really do no prior research besides the fact that I just heard she was supposed to be changing her name because of controversy.
Okay, well, I guess we're done. Let's move on. Yes, so Mulatto reportedly, she has not said this for sure, considering a name change due to controversy. So Mulatto was featured in 2020's XXL freshman class. If you don't know who she is, she has a gang of songs, and she's a very talented female rapper, and I want to say she's only like 21, 22. She's very young. So she was featured on some rap show, The Rap Game, back in 2016 as a 15-year-old. And I don't know what her name was then, but she changed her name to Mulatto, which even upon conception of changing her name, she has gotten an immense amount of backlash, because it's a very offensive word. And a very offensive description, if you will. And to which she has basically always said, I can call myself whatever the fuck I want to call myself, and I am a mulatto, and therefore I can call myself that if I feel like it. So, if you don't know or are not really familiar with the historical context of the word mulatto, it is from the Latin term of mule, which is basically the name for a donkey mixed with a horse, creating a mule, which is a hybrid animal. And basically looked at as, an unwanted creature because it's a mixture of things. It is not a full breed. It is, in most cases, not even able to reproduce. And so during the years of slavery, mixed children who typically were, how do I put this? Conceived by slave masters and mistresses raping slaves. And that is where mulatto or mixed children came from. So the term mulatto is not simply a word for mixed. It is a very offensive term to basically describe nigger babies mixed with white and raped by white more oftentimes than not. It wasn't, let's have a great relationship of interracial relationship. No. It was the raping of slaves and people who are meant and fashioned to be your quote unquote submissives and your servants. So that is why the term is very, very offensive. But kind of what I wanted to get into is, do you think that she should change her name?
This is the thing, because it's kind of like, because viscerally responding, I would absolutely say yes, right? But when I think about like the erasure of things, you know what I'm saying? How when we don't have these conversations, things will, continue to exist and continue to impact and affect people in a harmful way. Like, I think there has to be an othering in a lot of cases, right? Like, we have to other Black women so that their experiences will be acknowledged. We have to other the experiences of trans and the other LGQ. It's hard not saying the whole, what I'm trying, y'all know what I'm trying to say. But say that to say, in my head, because I didn't even, you did more research than I did. Like I was just, but I knew, because it's kind of like with the word nigger, right? Like I know it has more of an origin than just slavery. I know what it became with slavery, right? But I know it also comes from something else. And so I didn't know that mulatto, and if I did know, I think I forgot until you said it just now, the whole mixed donkey thing. I definitely just more so remembered the whole that it came from, like, again, children of mixed race due to rape and things like that. But say that to say, even that, right? And now that you've added that other part onto it, it's like, well, why would you want to be called this? Like, even before you said all that, I was thinking to myself, like, this has to be like a lack of knowledge thing, because why would you want to be called mulatto? Like, and I think the other thing about it too is that if there were equality in our community based off of skin complexion and hair texture and things like that, then things like this wouldn't matter. But because there isn't, right? Because we know we uphold people who are lighter skinned and who have straighter hair or looser curls because we're seen as more beautiful. Being called mulatto, it's kind of like when Lena Waithe said, we all Black people, to people being upset that Daniel Kaluuya was playing in Queen and Slim. It's like, yeah, girl, but if we don't acknowledge that there is dissension between these two groups of Black people, then we're just going to continue. Our kids going to be having this conversation. But the other thing, even with her changing her name, I feel like people still going to be like, I'm calling her mulatto. I'm not gonna relearn her name. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, I disagree with that. I think that people will. I don't know. I guess people that I come into contact with that listen to her don't call her mulatto, which I can appreciate, being a mixed person. But I call
what do they call her then?
Big Latto, which is like one of her nicknames.
Oh, okay.
So I call her Big Latto, but calling her mulatto is out the question. I don't do that. So my first introduction to the word mulatto, I have no idea where, but I think it was during the MySpace days when everybody had to put basically their mix or their makeup like on their profiles, right? Like, oh, I'm mixed, or I'm this, or I'm Cherokee, or I'm whatever. And I think that probably was where I learned the term mulatto and just knew it as being mixed race. And when I was around 11 or 12, probably 12, 12 and 13, something like that. I had a phone. I remember back in the day, in our phones, our flip phones, we could put signatures on our texts. And I think my MySpace name, like the header for my MySpace name was Mulatto Barbie. And so my signature on my text was Mulatto Barbie. And I was texting my hairdresser about my schedule or something. And she texted me back like, what the fuck is this, basically? And I'm like, what? Oh, that's my signature. She was like, no, absolutely do not call yourself that. Change it immediately. And in my head, you know, being the rebellious little fire sign I am, I'm like, bitch, you don't tell me what to do. You don't pay my bills. You don't tell me what I can and can't call myself. And if you're offended by, you know, a name for mixed kids, then you could just keep on being offended because you're not mixed. I am. So I can call myself what I choose. And then basically she was like, no, this is what it means. And I was like, oh, yikes, foot in mouth. This is embarrassing because I'm not a stupid girl. And as I got older, you know, it became apparent that, okay, this is an offensive term. It's not something I'm going to call myself anymore. It's not something I'm going to put on my phone texting signature anymore. It's a very rude, disrespectful word. Especially because whether you're mixed or not, thankfully, I am not the product of rape. You know what I mean? Like, why would I claim that over myself? Why would I claim that over my mother? Why would I claim that over my father? So maybe somebody who's mixed, you might be like, well, or somebody who's not mixed, oh, maybe they shouldn't tell me what I can and can't be called. But the mix is the rape of a slave. So, yes, the African-Americans' descendants. Yes, it should be offensive to African-Americans and mixed people alike. It should be absolutely offensive. So, with that being said, I do think she should change her name. Especially if she wants to make quote-unquote real money or big marketable. You cannot market somebody with an offensive name like Mulatto, because Disney ain't gonna pick your song to be on its soundtrack, you know, or any other movie when the name is Mulatto. That's like them being like, oh, let's hire you know, let's play rapper nigger's song on our soundtrack and then sell it to all the people worldwide. Like, no, it is an offensive term. It should absolutely not be your name in the first place. But specifically, if you're trying to be mainstream, it should definitely not be your name because you're not going to go nowhere, sweetheart. You should have been changed your name when people told you to in the first place. But more importantly than changing your name, you should have been done your research. You should have been read a few books. You should have been done some research. You should have been given a fuck about your history, because unless you are the product of rape, and unless you want to claim that and affirm that over your life, you should probably change your name expeditiously, girl.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the thing about it I was thinking about too is that I remember, were you with me when we were at that? It was some event they were having at ECU, and we were talking about whether or not we should use the N-word or not. Mm-hmm. Were you with me?
I think so. But I know we've had this conversation a lot, so I could just be putting that somewhere else in my brain.
Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about, at that particular time, I didn't use it. And, you know, we all went around the room and talked to, and we all went around the room and talked about why we shouldn't or why we do or why we don't. And I remember at that particular time, my mentality is that if anything else, is if me as your sister tells you that this offends me, then if you have love for me, right, you wouldn't do those things. And I think we do it on an individual level, right? Like, I know things that bother you, so I don't do them. And going back to Stokely Carmichael, which one of my favorite quotes from him was, you know, if we treated every black woman as our mother or our sister and every black man as our father or our brother, then, you know, basically we would be in a better place. You know, that's that's love. And if we had undying love for our people. And so when I think about like Mulatto, if there are people out here who are telling you this name is offensive and this name offends me particularly, I feel like if you're in the business of caring about people, then it would just be a very easy decision. But I also understand too that sometimes it can also feel like, bro, y'all get offended by everything. So, you know what I'm saying? So I think it does become harder to weigh what is, and I mean, how do you even quantify it, right? Like, what is too much offense and therefore I'm going to stop doing this? Is it it offended 100 people or offended 100,000 people? And do those 100 people not matter if it was only 100? You know what I'm saying? So I get that. But I do think, you know, again, it is offensive. I feel like it's offensive, not even just on a personal level for people, but I think even when you really look at what it means, it's offensive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's undeniably offensive. So, yeah, I think my answer definitely is that if it is doing harm, then it should be an easy decision for sure. But unfortunately, people don't really care. So I hope she does. But also,
I'm trying not to be hypocritical, because I understand that we use the word nigga as a quote unquote word of endearment. However, my dad was extremely uncomfortable with that kind of language and would always tell me, do not use that word, you know. And being that he came from the Deep South and literally had to get off sidewalks and not sit in certain places and not use certain places because he was black in the Deep South, and, you know, you could only use the colored section for things. Because of his personal background and history with it, because my great-grandparents were slaves, or were enslaved, I should say, and my grandfather was a sharecropper, if he tells me not to use a word because it offends him or it offends his people or it offends his struggle, then I don't use it. I didn't use it in front of him. So with that being said, it's just like, yeah, I understand that maybe people make an excuse for the word nigga, but again, if you value, you know, the words and the power that they have over your life, you're not gonna be calling yourself mulatto, and you're not gonna be asking other people, black, white, or otherwise, to use it either. Cause I'm sorry, ain't no little Karen or Toby about to call me no mulatto. I'm gonna slap him fucking cross-eyed. Period.
Yes, and I think it also depends on where we are as a society, right? Like, 'cause I think everything does evolve, right? Language evolves, and how we use words evolves. And that's not me trying to justify it all, but it's just me and trying to hopefully connect these dots real quick. But like with the N-word, maybe we've evolved within our community to a point where we can use it positively, but I think that's a question we really have to ask ourselves, because I know I don't use it positively, right? When I say these niggas, it typically is something negative coming behind that. But say that to say, going back to, you know, language and how we use it and where we are as a society, I think if we can think about that and choosing what we do and don't do, that tells you a lot. Like, and we talked about this, and I'm gonna bring this up real quick, but like, I saw people, a Bernie Mac joke was on Instagram a couple of days ago, and it was him making a joke. It was a gay joke. And people were in the comments saying, yeah, if he made this joke today, you know, everybody's so sensitive now and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, whenever I think about that now, I think, are people, quote unquote, so sensitive now, or do they just have a platform to express that sensitivity? And what is the link between the people who have always been the butt of the joke and how those people have been treated in society, right? Like, gay people for the longest couldn't get married. You know, trans people are still being beat exponentially, you know, and beat and brutalized and murdered exponentially, right? Like at such a higher rate. Black trans women, you know what I'm saying? There's an overrepresentation there. And so again, when I think about these things, like when I think about, is it okay to use the term mulatto? I mean, are we at a place where people who are, you know, mixed or looked mixed don't get treated better in our society? No. So maybe we shouldn't be referring to ourselves as that. Are we ever going to get to a place where a word that was like that is going to be used as a term of endearment, right? Because I'm sure the same thing was thought about the N-word. So yeah, I would definitely say that just because of where we are, it definitely is not the it, you know, but I'm going to say this again, maybe she's young and we were all young and dumb once. So yeah, hopefully she listens to the folks.
And wishing you the best. Read a book, girl. Okay, so moving on, Sexpectations.
Hey, yes, ma'am. I'm excited for once we're trading. I am the answerer, and Aisha is the questioner.
Amen.
She's much more wholesome than I am.
My question, and roommates, feel free to ask this, answer this, send us your messages, comments. My Sexpectations question is, or statement, I guess, is I lose interest in someone as soon as they blank. So Sid the Great, what makes you lose interest in a person?
So I wrote two things down.
Okay.
The first one is cheat, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
I think when you've agreed to be, to me, it comes off as lying when you've agreed to be in a monogamous relationship and then you don't fulfill your part of the contract. You know what I'm saying? The contract is now null and void, and therefore I'm out. Because we could have talked this through. If you wanted to be a hoe, you could have been a hoe. You could have left me out of it. Don't put me at risk. Don't be out here kirking me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no parts. But the one I really wanted to answer or the one that really stuck out to me, because that cheating was the first thing that came to mind, and I thought about it a little more. And I said disrespect other women because... And it goes back to my favorite meme that I love to quote all the time. They said that Muhammad Ali said that I watch how you treat the waiter because if I were the waiter, you would treat me that way.
Correct.
And that's how I feel when I see people say things about strippers that are negative, which what in the world y'all have against strippers? I do not know. I guess everybody needs somebody to feel superior to. I'm guessing that's what it is. But say, or, this hoe this bitch that, da-da-da-da. I'd be like, you get mad enough and you're going to call me those things. You know, if I were a stripper, you would treat me that way, or you wouldn't want your son to be with me, or whatever those random things are that people come up with. So say that to say, I am not with it. And I be clocking hard when I see you disrespect other women, because it's kind of like I just said with going back to Stokely Carmichael. All these women are my sisters or my mothers, right? My aunties. And so to disrespect them is to disrespect me. So yeah, that is my number one biggest I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So what's yours? I know you said you had a long list, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I do. Child, what doesn't make me lose interest? I would probably say,
or real quick, or if you're anti-LGBTQ, because I think, you know, you can be out here trying to date and all the things, and it seems like because homophobia is just the go-to, that you'll be all good. You'll check all the boxes, and then we get to, so how do you feel about trans lives? Like, do they matter or no? And if you hit me with a no, then I'd be like, look, what I'm not going to do is fight this battle in my house. Yeah. I might get on the internet and fight this battle. I might go out into the streets and fight this battle, but I do not want to come home and have to argue this with you. Okay. I don't want to see you talking about how, oh, they must have tricked him. I don't have time for that in my house. So that's my other one, but I'm sorry. Okay. Go ahead, girl.
Yeah, I think I would probably lose interest long before I knew anything about you on a deeper level, because people annoy me, and very small things annoy me. I'm not really quick to anger, but I am very quick to being annoyed and turned off and turned away for you as a person or romantically or anything else. So, I lose interest in someone as soon as they, probably have bad manners, have bad hygiene, or just otherwise just annoying energy. Like, I find people in general very, very annoying. So if you just annoy me, I'm like, "Whoo, ciao, bye." I can't even try. I can't even hear what you think, even on a deeper level, because your very presence is annoying to me. But yeah, probably bad hygiene and bad manners. Like, I can't stand people who, like, kind of like you said, like a waitress or something. Like, if you're rude to them, or if you don't say please and thank you, if you don't tip, like little things annoy me greatly and will make me literally block somebody. I'll be like, "Ooh, child, I don't even have time to teach a grown up how to say please and thank you." So I just got to go ahead and block them.
Absolutely. Yeah, those are good ones. I like, you know what I love about hearing your list is it makes me feel like you got high standards, and I feel like you should. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. You know, what a compliment. Thank you, Queen.
No problem. You know.
Okay.
I do what I can.
Black on black support. Are you ready, Queen?
I am. How many do you have?
Just 2.
Oh, wow. Okay. Shoot them off.
Okay. So, what was this? 2014? 15? One of those years. 14, 15. My very best friend, Sid the Great, inspired me to get into reading by giving me The Coldest Winter by Sister Souljah. If you are...
Wow, wait. That was the first book I gave you?
Yes, and then right after that, you gave me Malcolm X.
My selective memory. I was thinking the first one was Malcolm X. Oh, yes. Coldest Winter Ever. If y'all ain't read that, sorry, real quick. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just got real hype. The title is true, okay? Coldest. This is the coldest book ever. That was the best. I read. That was a wow. Look at us. So you read Coldest Winter Ever, and then you read Malcolm X right after that.
Yeah. So you gave me, because I always said how much I hated reading. I didn't enjoy it, and I think you asked me, well, what kind of things do you like to read, or have you ever read this or that? And I was like, no, don't like to read, won't enjoy it. And so you gave me The Coldest Winter Ever, and I remember thinking, like, this a thick ass book. Like, I remember that being the first thing I thought, like, Sid, you're trying to intro me into reading, and you gave me the biggest book on earth next to the Bible. What is wrong with you?
No, it is thick.
Yeah, it's a large book. And I remember when I read it, like, I do this every time now, but when I get to the last chapter of a book, I will take 2 weeks to read it. I don't care if it's 5 pages. I'd be like, no, please don't be over. Why are there only this many pages and I'm this divested in the story? But, yeah, it was a great book. It changed my life and turned me on to reading. Like, so when I say which book changed my life, I love to say Malcolm X because it was the first Black conscious book I read, but really the first Black book I read was The Coldest Winter Ever from Sid the Great. And I thought it was the shit. If you are a Black girl, you probably read it in general. But if you haven't, please pick it up. I don't even know when that book came out, but a long time ago. Like, easily, no, I think 20 years, actually. I think it's a 20-year-old book. So Sister Souljah has other books out, but my Black on Black support goes specifically to the fact that we are getting a sequel to The Coldest Winter Ever, called Life After Death, which is about Winter's life as she comes to the end of her prison bid. And I'm so fucking excited. And y'all, so I was like, I went on Sister Souljah's website because, of course, if you can buy a book from the source, it is the most important and helpful way you can purchase, especially like, you know, for the authors. Like buying it from Amazon, etc., is a little harder. Buying it from Barnes and Noble, not harder, I should say. I should just say less goes to the artist. So anyways, you try to buy it from Black-owned bookstores or from the author themselves, and it's just much more meaningful, and they make more money, of course, that way. So I went to her website to see if I could order it because I'm like, oh, okay, I just got this news article. I am sure the Good Queen is going to sell out. So let me try to find this book. Went to her website. The book is not there. And I was like, oh my God, was it a myth? Does this book not exist? So I was like, y'all done got me all hype and wet for this book, and it don't even exist. Y'all, Target is selling the book already, like as a pre-order. Target, well, that's the only place I found it so far. I'm sure it's other places too, but as a pre-order. The book does not come out till March 2nd of 2021.
Ooh. Well, you know what? In hindsight, you know, trying to look for the silver lining. It gives people who have never read the book time to read the first one. That is very true. But yeah, it's not even on her website. I can't pre-order it from her website. So Black on Black support goes to Sister Souljah. Thank you so much for continuing to create for all these years. Thank you so much for giving me my introduction into reading Black, and to finally realizing after I don't know, probably 21 when I read it, finally realizing that reading does not suck balls. Reading is a fucking great time. And right after that, I read the autobiography of Malcolm X as told by Alex Haley. And y'all, I have been reading ever since, and I thoroughly love and enjoy it. So I'm so excited. Black on Black support goes to our queen sister Souljah. And I'm so excited. And it was the same for me too.
And I cannot fucking wait to get my hands on that book, and I'm going to eat it up, girl.
I need to, when it comes out, I need to reread it because it's been a long time, and I'm sure I've forgotten a lot of details. I probably don't even really remember even major plot points because it's been so long, and you know, you read and different. You just get bombarded by new information.
We should definitely reread the first one and then get the sequel. But yeah, that'll give us a good mental break because y'all, reading Black literature, not just Black literature, but Black conscious literature can put you in a very dark place. It can absolutely do that. So we need some mental breaks. So I'm excited for this fictional novel. My second Black on Black support is a reiteration of our Shop Black challenge. Every single day from now and through the holidays, making one post a day on your page, on your story, on your Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, etc. of a Black-owned business you either have or that you want to support, whether by purchasing it or just by sharing it or word of mouth. But I have been posting pictures of things I bought myself or websites that I stumble upon. Now, y'all know how the internet do. I have been getting all kinds of ads on Instagram, on Facebook. When I'm just shopping in general, like I get all kinds of Black-owned ads now, which is actually the one good thing about my FBI agent. So I'm really excited about that. But what I've been doing every day is posting at least one, but I get a little carried away and do like about 3 Black-owned businesses every day. I send a post probably from their page to my story, and I might add in some more pictures from the page to give people more context of the things that they sell. I and tag the business because they can't see it if you just share it. I tag the business, I hashtag Black Holiday, and I also tag the Living Room 4440 so I can share it that way as well. Just reaching out as many people as possible. You don't know how many DMs I've gotten of, oh my God, this is great, I'm already on their website, or oh my God, I just bought this because I saw your post. And that makes me really, really excited. I got a message yesterday from a guy that I posted his business of like embroidered hats, and some guy messaged me and was like, oh my God, they're all sold out. And I was like, but isn't that the point? Don't we want Black businesses to sell out and to thrive during this holiday season and every day alike? Because we want y'all to do great. During this time of COVID, Black businesses and small businesses, mom and pops, are shutting down exponentially for a permanent measure. So I'm excited for all the young Black creatives who are thriving right now. And I wish you guys sold out websites and pre-orders and pre-sales to just skyrocket. I wish that for y'all. So please, please, please join our Black Holiday Shopping Challenge by using hashtag Black Holiday. Tag us, tag the business. Let us see what you guys are buying this holiday season. And that is the end of my Black on Black support.
Yes, and I also finally figured out who I would like to shout out.
Okay, go ahead, Queen.
So I got a black and white support. I just feel like I always feel guilty when I don't have one. So I would like to shout out JoshBeCoats, who on Instagram is Josh, but B Coats is BE Coats. Everything else is spelled like exactly how you would expect it to be spelled. Amazing photographer, amazing filmmaker. We went to school together at CP. Just wanted to shout him out for just being a super dope creative. Like, I was reading some tweets from a photographer whom I, kind of like when you see their page, you be like, oh, I thought they own. You know what I'm saying? They already out here doing the great things. They got so many followers. They've worked on like, famous projects with famous people and things like that. And she had tweeted out that her and her assistant had worked for free on a project with the I guess the leading photographer for I just lost her name, but it was a female rapper. And then when the photographer came out and was posting about it, she had to like quote it and be like, oh, well, don't forget to mention the people who worked for you for free and who helped you to bring your vision to life, because we volunteered to do this to help you with your vision, right? And so basically I wanted to shout out Josh, and also I wanted to shout out both Josh and Malik on Instagram as MilikKashad, who y'all have heard us mention before, for both being so willing to help me with my ideas to be paid way under, what they were supposed to be, because they were helping me to do things and helping me to get my brand and to create things like that. And just other creators who either work for free for their friends and other and work collaboratively or work for like way below their price point and stuff like that to help people bring a vision to life. And who are just, again, I just want to shout them out also just, of course, for being amazing creators in general. So definitely just wanted to say thank you to them and to shout them out and to tell y'all to follow them and check out their work, because they really are truly talented. And Josh not only did photography and video work for me for my launch coming up in January for the apparel, but also modeled for me too. So just really excited for people to see what we've put together and what we've created and what he helped me to bring to life. So yeah, just wanted to shout both of them out.
Multifaceted king.
Okay, absolutely. So yeah, super excited for y'all to see that, because it has been a lot of fun working on that project. It's been a lot of fun working with him, and we have more stuff on the horizon, of course, as always. So yeah, I just wanted to say shout out to those two, especially MilikKashad and JoshBeCoats. Follow both of them on Instagram, but just to all creators who, don't do everything for the money. You know what I'm saying? Do things to help people bring their visions to life, because if we didn't work collaboratively together, you wouldn't have anything, right? You wouldn't have movies, you wouldn't have music videos, you wouldn't have photo shoots, because so many people are involved in helping to bring those visions to life on the main scale, or the grand scale, I should say. So yeah, I just wanted to say shout out to creators, because it makes me happy to create and to put things out there for people to see and to have things in your head and be able to help them be able to for them to be able to transpire into something that people can see and experience. So yeah. Yep. Yes, that's my black on black support.
Okay. Book of the month, y'all. I'm trash. I didn't finish Little Fires Everywhere, so I'm trying to do that quickly, since I have a flight coming up this week. Into mental health, I just wanted to share with you guys setting your intentions first and foremost. Sid and I, before we jumped on today, set the intentions of making you guys laugh, making you guys smile, giving you guys accurate information that we've researched and we believe to be the truth, and not sharing and spreading rumors and lies as much as possible. Being responsible for the things that we say on this podcast. And just being a good a good relief for you guys whenever you're listening to us, whether it's on the way to work, coming home, exercising, cleaning your home, or however you just take time to listen to us, because you absolutely don't have to, and we appreciate all the love and support. So the fact that you guys take time to sit here and listen to us, we appreciate, and we just want to set the intention that we are always doing our best to give you guys good and responsible content. So setting your intentions for each day. I woke up this morning, I stretched, and I set my intentions for the day, and it doesn't have to be anything big or even extremely profound. Just set or multiple intentions for the day. And one way you can do that and have a positive effect is by making a small to-do list. So that's something I do pretty often. I use the notes in my phone and I set a to-do list. It could be as simple as make the bed, wash the dishes, do this, or usually I might have my actual, what I intend to do that day. I intend to do some ab work. I intend to do some yoga. I intend to make my bed. I intend to maybe it's run to the store and grab something that I needed. Whatever it is, I try to set intentions because it keeps me productive and on track and in a good mood, especially when I can mark things off the list and feel accomplished. So that is my mental health tip / check-in with you guys.
Yes, ma'am. And I don't have one, so But I got an affirmation, though.
Okay, wonderful. Take it away.
And I've said this before, but I just wanted to bring it back up because it was something that I experienced recently, like a couple days ago, was just to take it one step at a time, or AKA do one thing at a time. And to, give a little bit about my story. Like, I found myself in a paralyzed state. Like, I'll have so much to do sometimes, and I'll know I have so much to do. Like, oh, I got to work on this video. I got to work on these photos. I got to learn. I got to take the Photoshop class. I got to do the podcast. I got to research for it. It's so much, right? And coming to terms with this idea that everybody has a lot to do. You know what I'm saying? We're all trying to make it and grind it out here. But I'll have so much to do sometimes that I just won't do anything at all. And I just wanted to remind myself and, make it the affirmation for the week, to remind y'all to just do one thing at a time. That's all you can do, right? And to just be present and to just focus on that one thing and to mark those things off the list, just one thing at a time. Because when I reminded myself of that idea, when I came back to that affirmation, I actually was productive the last couple of days. So I was like, you know what? I got to remember that, because it can be very overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? When you're trying to juggle so many things, and we're always going to have a lot of things to juggle, whether it be, family life or your friends, your social life with your career or and then your side hustles and getting on Instagram and then just having downtime, want to watch a movie, watch some TV or something like that. It's a lot to juggle. So, just one thing at a time, y'all. Don't let yourself be overwhelmed. Take a deep breath. Like Aisha said earlier, a few minutes ago, affirming what you're going to do. Because sometimes I think we can also be in such a rush because we have so many things to do that we kind of run into things with rushed energy and things like that. And I think it's really nice to ground yourself in your work and to, like Aisha said earlier, set an intention and then do the work. I think is just much more of a pleasurable experience. So my affirmation for the week for sure is just take it one step at a time, or just focus on that one thing at a time.
And my affirmation for you guys is to talk to yourself like you would a friend. I am very patient, very loving, very understanding, and very non-judgmental to my friends. And I find that I am the opposite with myself a lot of the times. As my friends will confirm, I am not very nice to myself, and I would never not be that way to my friends and to people I love. So with that being said, be nice to yourself. Talk to yourself like you're somebody you love and that you care about. That is my affirmation for you guys.
Absolutely. And on that note, y'all.
On that note, guys, there is a song.
Enjoyed y'all.
Oh.
What?
Go ahead, Sid. Send the people home.
I was just about to say, we have enjoyed y'all. We are always thankful for y'all to join us in the living room. Take care of yourselves. We will see you again next week. Now, the weeks after that, because Aisha can't sit down.
Oh, my God, y'all. I'm going to sit down. I might record while I'm in Charlotte, so we going to see. I might record in Charlotte after somebody buys me lunch.
Oh, there you go. So basically, if y'all want a podcast, Aisha said y'all got to give her some food. I feel that.
Yeah. Does anybody want to come to the stew with me? Because I know Sydney won't.
Nope, you're right about that. No, ma'am. Y'all know me. I am shut up in this house, minding my business. I will go to work and I will come home.
If you're in Charlotte and when you hear this episode, I might be. So just DM me and tell me what you're about to get me for lunch. I will accept some Romeo's vegan burgers. I haven't been there before. I would like to try it. Some Eastside local eateries, some doggone vegans, whatever y'all want to feed me. As long as it doesn't have a dead animal's body in it.
Absolutely. And on that note, I have been Sid the Great.
And I am Aisha Damali. There is a song called Bowl of Butterflies that y'all need to get to streaming by X Brody from his album Where Love Lies. So while y'all ain't doing shit, we gonna kick y'all asses out the living room and y'all can listen to this in the car. Peace.
I've been pressured, I'm a damn fool, thinking that I got a chance with you. Maybe I should look both ways before I ever cross that stage. Hey, I shouldn't take shots like this. I usually don't cop like this. I don't even smoke this. This is for you to get lit. This is for you to get lit. Only hit me up so you can vent. I open up my door and let you in. All this good advice goes to him. Oh fuck no. What if I loved you? That's that alcohol talking. I ain't drunk though. Lost for words ever since the day I found out you were thinking about getting married. You dumb now, or you don't know that I want you. I love you, but why the words won't come out? These are just my thoughts that I keep in. can I say I'm out loud? I must have ate a bowl of butterflies before you came through. Ever since I met you, I've been pressured. I'm a damn fool, thinking that I got a chance with you. Maybe I should look both ways before I ever cross that stage. I've been moving way too fast, trying to be your first, your last, trying to make it work and last. Pedal to the metal, I guess. It'll never seem that bad. You can get over your past in a weekend. We can make a future where you're sleeping. I wish I could say all this in person. It only comes to me when you're leaving. I'm lost for words, that's okay. I'm trying to find them, okay. These butterflies, they won't stay. I know you want someone brave. I can be that if you wait. Girl, if you, I must have ate a bowl of butterflies before you came through. Ever since I met you, I've been pressured. I'm a damn fool,